Have you ever dreamed of floating among the stars, gazing down at our beautiful blue planet from above? It sounds like the ultimate adventure, right? But what actually happens to your body when you leave Earth's gravity behind and venture into the vastness of space? It's a journey that transforms the human body in ways you might not expect. Let's blast off and explore the incredible and sometimes bizarre effects of space on our biology. First up, let's talk about the most obvious change. You float. This feeling, known as microgravity, is fun at first, but it kicks off a whole chain reaction inside your body. On Earth, our bodies are constantly fighting gravity. Our muscles are working, our bones are supporting our weight, and our circulatory system is pumping blood upwards. In space, that constant battle is over. Your body can finally relax. But this relaxation comes with a cost. One of the first things astronauts notice is a puffy face and skinny legs. This isn't a new fashion trend. It's called fluid shift. Without gravity pulling everything down, the fluids in your body, that's about 60% of your body weight, start to move upwards into your chest and head. This is why astronauts' faces look swollen and they feel congested, almost like having a constant head cold. Meanwhile, their legs get thinner, earning them the nickname chicken legs. This fluid shift also tricks your body into thinking it has too much water, so your kidneys go into overdrive, and you'll find yourself needing to use the restroom a lot in your first few days in space. This loss of fluid can lead to dehydration if astronauts aren't careful about drinking enough water. But the changes don't stop there. The next major concern is our muscles and bones. Here on Earth, every step you take, every time you stand up, you're putting stress on your bones and using your muscles. This keeps them strong. In the weightlessness of space, your body goes into a use it or lose it mode. Without the constant load bearing, your muscles, especially the big ones in your legs and back that help you stand and maintain posture, start to weaken and shrink. This is called muscle atrophy. Astronauts can lose up to 20% of their muscle mass on long missions if they don't exercise. Similarly, your bones start to lose density. Your body thinks, hey, I don't need this super strong skeleton anymore, and it starts to break down bone tissue faster than it builds it. Astronauts can lose 1 to 2% of their bone mass every month they're in space. To put that in perspective, an elderly person on Earth with osteoporosis loses about that much in a whole year. This makes the bones more brittle and increases the risk of fractures when they return to Earth's gravity. So, how do astronauts fight back against this? Exercise, and lots of it. Astronauts on the International Space Station, or ISS, spend about 2 hours every single day working out. They have special equipment designed for a zero-gravity environment. There's a treadmill they strap themselves onto with a harness, a stationary bike, and a clever device called the Advanced Resistive Exercise Device, or ARED. It uses vacuum cylinders to create resistance, allowing them to do exercises like squats, deadlifts, and bench presses to keep their muscles and bones strong. It's a crucial part of their daily routine to stay healthy. Now, let's move on to the cardiovascular system, your heart and blood vessels. Back on Earth, your heart works hard to pump blood up to your brain against gravity. In space, with the fluid shifting upwards, the heart doesn't have to work as hard. Over time, just like any other muscle that isn't being used, the heart can get a little lazy. It might shrink in size and become slightly more spherical. When astronauts return to Earth, their cardiovascular systems have to readapt to gravity, which can cause them to feel dizzy and lightheaded. Another fascinating change happens to your sense of balance.
Our sense of balance comes from the vestibular system in our inner ear. It contains tiny little organs that tell our brain which way is up and how our body is moving. In microgravity, this system gets completely confused. There is no up or down. This disconnect between what your eyes see and what your inner ear feels can lead to something called space adaptation syndrome, or space sickness. About half of all astronauts experience this. It feels a lot like motion sickness, nausea, disorientation, and vomiting. Thankfully, the brain is incredibly adaptable, and most astronauts get their space legs after a few days as their brain learns to rely more on visual cues. Space also affects your height. Without gravity compressing the spine, the soft disks of cartilage between the vertebrae can expand. This can make an astronaut temporarily grow up to 2 inches taller. It's a nice little perk, but unfortunately, it doesn't last. Once they're back on Earth, gravity squishes them back down to their normal height within a few months. But what about the long term, more serious risks? One of the biggest challenges for future deep space missions, like a trip to Mars, is radiation. Earth is protected by its magnetic field and atmosphere, which shield us from most of the harmful cosmic radiation from the sun and distant galaxies. In space, astronauts are exposed to much higher levels. This radiation can damage DNA, increasing the long term risk of cancer. It can also affect the central nervous system and cause other health issues. Scientists are working hard to develop better shielding for spacecraft and potential protective measures for astronauts to mitigate this risk. And let's not forget about the eyes. A significant number of astronauts on long duration missions experience changes in their vision. This condition is known as spaceflight associated neuroocular syndrome, or SANS. The fluid shift we talked about earlier can increase pressure inside the skull, which can then put pressure on the back of the eyeball and the optic nerve. This can cause the shape of the eyeball to flatten slightly and can lead to farsightedness. Some astronauts need glasses in space, even if they had perfect vision on Earth. Researchers are still studying this phenomenon to understand it fully and find ways to prevent it. Finally, we can't ignore the psychological impact of living in space. Being confined in a small space, far from home, family, and friends, can be incredibly isolating and stressful. Astronauts are carefully selected for their mental resilience, but it's still a huge challenge. They follow a strict schedule, which helps create a sense of normalcy. They have regular video calls with their families and access to psychologists. Maintaining good mental health is just as important as maintaining physical health for mission success. So, from puffy faces and chicken legs to growing taller and fighting off muscle loss, the human body undergoes a truly remarkable transformation in space. It's a testament to our incredible adaptability, but it also highlights the challenges we face as we push the boundaries of exploration. Every astronaut is not just an explorer, but also a human science experiment, helping us understand how we can live and work safely beyond our home planet. The next time you look up at the night sky, think about the brave individuals up there, floating in their tin can, their bodies working overtime to adapt to a world without gravity. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey into the science of space travel. If you found this fascinating, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the wonders of science. See you next time.